Masechet Avodah Zarah Daf Nun Tet Amud Aleph, 3 lines from the bottom. Ba'in Mineh Merav Kana, they asked the question. Aved Kochim Maishi Yodich Anadim Nagat. What's the halacha regarding helping a goy transporting grapes to the wine press? Is that considered helping him make kinesah or not? Ma'alehu Asur. Mishum why? Lech Lech Amin Nazira. Zehor Zehor Lekan Malot Tikrav. Same concept before. Even though maybe it's not Asur inherently, we make it Asur because we don't want you to engage in something that can lead to Asur. Like we said earlier regarding the concept comes from the Nazir, where we don't want you to have any involvement into scenarios where you might become Isur. If a goy transported grapes to the wine press in baskets, or in small casks, even if wine is still juice, grape juice is still coming out of the grapes, it's mutar. Maleh, hechi kamar. Heavy kamar, do you mean he carried them? Ana lechatchila ka'amina. He said, you're asking me a question that if the guy did it as mutar. He said, no, that's not a question against me. I was saying lechatchila you should not do it. But if he did it, it's mutar. Right? So, again, Rav Kahana said, Yemar said, sorry. Sorry, Rav Kahana said is asur. We don't want, it's a gezerah, we don't want you to engage in situations where it might lead to isur. They asked a question about a story that happened and it said it was mutar, and we said that's not a question against me. I'm telling you, you shouldn't do it, but if you did it, it's mutar. Okay. هو إتروج أنا دافع حبيت برحمة بس a story where the etrog fell into a cask of wine. It did it. أول خلينا بشكله. A goy jumped forward, a hero, decided to stick his hand into the jug, to the cask of the wine, and he grabbed the etrog. Amadu Rav Ashi said, "Niktul ledet ki yechid b'lo d'shachechpeh." Hold his hand while it's still in the cask so that he doesn't move it. So yeah, he put his hand inside, definitely not to shake wine for libation. But we don't want to take it out and shake it. So what do? Tell him to grab his hand while it's still inside and hold it. And tip the cask until the wine pours out, so that the level of the wine goes above where his hand is, and then you could take out his hand so that no wine's touching his hand when he pulls it out. Okay, Amar Bashe. Hi, Alvek Chavim Askil Hamid Yisrael Bechavana. The goy went over to a Jew's wine and he did libation. Afagav de Lizabuna Lorchim Achrina. So even though you can't sell it to another goy because you can have benefits, it's nesach, yain nesach gamur. Shara the mishkal de memahu abraham. You can take that goy and make him pay you for it. My time, why? Mikla kalia. Because yes, even though you're not supposed to sell, you do not have benefit. However, this is not a sale. This is a charge for a penalty that he ruined your wine. He had no business touching your wine for libation. And therefore, since he ruined your wine, you could force sale it to him to get your money back. And restitution. Marav Hashem knows from. Tanakh says, if a goy made a libation for the Jews wine not in front of an Avodah Zarah, Asur, benefits. Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tira, Shimon ben Sura, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tira, this is mutar for two reasons. I had one, she'enu ben astichin yain el shebetei because one libation is only done in front of an idol, and this was not. But I had another reason is shomer lo, because the Jew can tell the goy, lo kol hemen chashta asur yain lo say you. It's not. You don't have the ability. You don't have the power to make my wine asur to me against my will. Now, we don't hold that. We hold that it is possible. However, we do hold that you could charge him for it. Okay. هاي خبيثة ده عمرها ده إيش تاكل the barzal was a certain cask of wine that the spigot the faucet thing came out and wine was coming out. Another hero. أتى بالخدمين في إدري أنا خيدة على goy came forward, put his hand on it to stop the wine. Amr of Papa said, "Called the lahade barza hamra asir." All the wine that's by the spigot, by the hole of that faucet, is asur. The idach shari, but the rest of the wine is mutar. Iktar made a conversion. The inversion of my Papa said, "Abaza hamla asir." All the wine on top of the cask until the spigot is mutar. Ve'ida shari, but underneath it is mutar. This concept, two ways different looking at it is a machagat aim. Like when in the following Mishnah, Havich nekeva, if a cask had a hole, the wine is a wine of Tumah. Ben mipia ben mushla ben mitzvah, whether the holes in the top, bottom, or side. Ben naga botzvul, when a guy who is not fully tahor yet touched it. Tme'ah, all the wine is tameh. Maybe that says, Mipiha umishleha tme'ah. If the hole's in the top or the bottom, then all of it's tameh. Misideh, but if the hole's on the side, tehorah mikan, so it's tahor above and below the hole. So we see that over here as well. In our the Tanakama holds where the holes in the side, it makes it like touching everything. And Vida says it's not just like the two ways of looking at the pot. Okay, not a pot. If a goy is at a cask pouring the wine and a Jew is holding the jug to catch the wine. Hamra asir, the wine's asur. My time why? Ki ka'ati mikuach haver chavim ka'ati, when the wine is coming out of the cask, it's because of the direct force of the goy. Yisrael, adana ve'orachim kupa, to say the Jew is pouring the wine at the cask and the goy has the jug. Hamra shari, the wine mutar, because it goes not do anything. The guy helps position the judge and adjusts it, then it's asur. Marpa, the goy is carrying a leather flask of wine that's tied shut. And just walking behind him and sees that that guy did not do any funny business with it. If the cask is full, if the flask is full, mutar. Because you can't shake the flask. If it's only partially filled, Asur, because maybe Dilma Kashish, maybe the guy shook it as he walked and made it Asur. Kuba, if he had an open jug of wine. Malia Asur, if it's full Asur. Dilma Naga, because he might touch it. Hasira Shari, if it's missing a little bit, it's Mutar. Dilma Naga, because he obviously did not touch it. Rav Ashi Rav says no. Zika, if it's in a leather flask that's completely tied. Ben Mea ben Hasira Shari, whether it's full or missing, it's Mutar. Ma'itama why? And Derech Yisupakat, because if it's closed, and he's shaking it, that's not the way to do libations. It has to be open, and that's why in this case it would be mutar.